Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. President Trump accuses the media of COVID shaming. The Supreme Court expands civil rights protections for gay and transgender people. The NYPD ends its plainclothes detective program. National pride in the USA falls to a record low. Also ahead, the truth about COVID, no BS. But first, the president defending his decision to hold a rally in Oklahoma on Saturday, saying the media is COVID shaming his supporters. NBC, CNN, and the New York Times, all of which despise Donald Trump, have labeled his event dangerous while saying nothing about the health implications of anti-police demonstrations across the country. Hypocrisy? You make the call. The Supreme Court issuing a decision that expands workplace protections to gay and transgender Americans. The 6-3 vote makes it illegal for business owners to fire employees based on orientation or sexual identity. The NYPD confirming precincts will soon phase out their plainclothes officer program, shifting 600 cops to neighborhood units or other agencies. Commissioner Dermot Shea calling the move a, quote, seismic shift in the culture of the NYPD, unquote. Local leaders are seeking to cut $1 billion from the police budget in New York City, and that, of course, will lead to a steep rise in violent crime. The elite squad, the plainclothes unit, was formed during the 1970s to crack down on drugs, prostitution, and guns. Officers disguised as homeless, construction workers, or just about anybody were deployed throughout the city, and especially on the subway. In 1989, there were 2,000 murders in the Big Apple. That number dropped to 300 in 2019, largely because of undercover officers. National pride in the USA, the country, plunging to the lowest level ever. According to Gallup, 63% of Americans say they're extremely or very proud to live here, compared with 92% back in 2003. In a moment, the true facts about COVID. No BS. Right back. Working from home is causing the worst type of cybercrime, home title theft. While we're doing everything from working, banking, shopping in the house, cybercriminals are targeting our homes. They want the money they can get by taking out loans against the house. The crime is called home title theft, and the FBI is warning all homeowners. Home Title Lock protects your home from cyber thieves. Your home's legal title is online. Thieves can find it and forge your signature stating you sold your home to them. Then they take out loans and leave you in debt. Banks, insurance, and basic identity theft services do not protect you. Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier around your home's title. So please go to HomeTitleLock.com and register your address to see if you are already a victim. You can use the code BILL for 30 free days of protection. That's code BILL at HomeTitleLock.com. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day, the truth about COVID. America and the world is reopening, as you know. The question, is that dangerous? Let's look at the stats. Right now, there are more than 2 million cases of the virus in the USA and 118,000 fatalities, that number going up every day. That leads the world. The reason is that we are the world's most mobile society. We have 330 million people in this country. They move around a lot, as opposed to China, where nobody goes anywhere because the government doesn't allow it. As far as patients testing positive, this is interesting. In the USA, on May 1st, 12% of those who took the COVID test had the disease or the antibody. Now, 4.5%. So that shows a definite drop because of social distancing and people being inside. In New York City on June 1st, 2.5% of people tested were positive. June 15th, 1.2%. Number's been halved in New York. Michigan, June 1st, 1.8%, now 1.1%. Nevada, 3% on May 15th. Now it's 4.3%, so that's up. Florida, May 4th, 4% tested positive, 5.2% now. South Carolina, 3.3% on May 15th. Now 7%, a double, so that's way up. Georgia, which opened first on May 1st, 4% tested positive. Now 6.6%. That's not too bad because Georgia's opened everything. Texas, 5.5% May 15th, now 7.1%. Got to watch it in Texas. But the percentages are not out of control. Hospitals not under siege as they were. Deaths are concentrated in the over 65 with pre-existing condition crew. Let's look at overseas. We have between May 15th and June 15th a drop in COVID of 16% in the USA. In France, it's up 9%. Brazil up a whopping 70%, and that's out of control because people in Brazil, especially in the big cities like Rio, live on top of one another. Russia, the stats are cooked. We don't know what's going on over there. Italy, down 61%. UK, down 74%. Again, these are infections from May 15th to June 15th. India is up 175% because the COVID was late in getting to India. Again, not a mobile society. Now, COVID will be with us at least through the end of this year, but we have to return to normal. Everybody knows that. Schools are going to have to open in August and September. Commerce, restaurants, that's going to have to open. Crowds in stadiums, I'm not sure about that because that is dangerous. That spreads the disease when people are on top of one another like they are in Brazil and India. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by writing it. For more honest news analysis, please visit BillO'Reilly.com. In a moment, something you might not know. Edward and his wife, Margaret, were looking forward to retirement. Edward started having serious health issues a few years before he turned 65 and had to take an unplanned early retirement. The loss of income and medical bills meant Edward could not afford his expenses, including the premiums on a $1 million life insurance policy. Faced with lapsing their policy for nothing, Edward and Margaret turned to Coventry Direct and were able to sell the policy for $130,000. If you own a life insurance or term policy that you don't need or can't afford, Coventry Direct can help you receive an average of 4 times more cash than you'd get from your life insurance carrier. You can even sell a portion of your existing policy and still maintain coverage with no future premium obligations. See if you qualify. Please call 1-800-888-3791 or visit CoventryHelpsSeniors.com. That's 1-800-888-3791 or visit CoventryHelpsSeniors.com. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. Economists routinely rank the world's richest countries by what they call gross domestic product. The top 10 include places like Brazil, Italy, India, and China. But those figures really don't mean anything. For example, China has the second biggest economy on the planet. However, the median salary in China is less than $9,000 a year. In Brazil, $7,200. In India, $4,000 annually. That's all the folks over there make. So a better metric is financial assets per capita, how much money a person earns, plus their home, cars, other possessions. Here are the top 5 countries in the world ranked by average residence total wealth. Number 5, Belgium. I did not know this. Typical adult has $104,000 in assets. The country of just 11 million people is home to thousands of highly paid diplomats working for the European Union. Other big industries: diamonds, chocolate, and beer in Belgium. Next stop, Netherlands, number 4, 110,000 per person. The nation boasts some of the lowest levels of personal debt. Young folks there encourage $10,000 in student loans because the government picks up much of the tab. That number is 5 times higher in the USA. Number 3, Sweden, $115,000 per head in wealth. The generous welfare state in Sweden means folks do not spend as much on education, daycare, medical bills, or retirement. The biggest expense for locals is buying a house. Number 2, the USA, $170,000 in assets for the average adult. Most homes have 2 cars, 4 computers, and $10,000 in jewelry per person. The USA is home to more than 600 billionaires and 12 million millionaires, the most in the world. Top of the list, Switzerland, $190,000 a head in wealth. The landlocked country makes a fortune on international banking and trade. And here's something else you might not know. Switzerland's neutral position during World War II spared them the destruction experienced in the rest of Europe. They have not participated in a single armed conflict since the defeat of Napoleon in 1815. Back after this. When you venture outside, face coverings may be required, and the kind of face cover you use matters a lot. The Boomer Naturals Protective Face Cover is a recommended covering for both adults and children. With 3 cloth layers infused with nano-silver technology, it reduces particles getting to your nose and mouth. The Boomer Naturals Face Covering is comfortable, easy to breathe, easy to speak, and made for excellent protection. They are in stock right now and will ship to you from the Boomer U.S. warehouse. The face covers can be used up to 30 days when you hand wash with soap and water, making them very affordable. Order yours today at boomernaturals.com. And if you use the code BILL20 at checkout, you'll save 20%. Please go to boomernaturals.com, your source for excellent face covers. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.